So pretty much all is right behind us. All this property is owned by Now Pacific company. It was bought out, actually they bought it out, but originally it was Diamond Match Factory. It was owned by O.C. Barber. And pretty much how it all kind of started was, initially there was a lumber mill out in what is now Silver City? Sterling City. Out in Sterling City, there was the first factory out there, and then kind of Sterling City even grew more and more. And what it really was for was actually for all of the employees that worked at the mill. And then from there, they usually get out a bunch of boxes, a bunch of matches, and then even had a byproduct of honey. So it was growing so well and everything that they're like, all right, we have to start expanding. And they've actually become one of the, even to today, one of the greatest producers of matches. And so how they grew bigger and bigger was actually growing or making another second factory out here. And so as soon as they built the railroad track that runs straight through the property back there, they went ahead and built that up, and it's been going for, I think it was about 83 years. It was in operations, and actually it was very profitable. It only closed due to just running its course, honestly.
Sadly, we're not allowed to be on the premise, but around in the center there's a giant asphalt cap that measures about 3 acres long, and underneath that is buried is Louisiana plume, which has the two common chemicals inside are arsenic and PCP. So one thing that makes it really dangerous is even though ideally it's capped off, it kind of dissipates into the ground and stuff. So, and it's been recently witnessed over the years in the almond orchards that are around here in this area. They've been found various different kinds of elements and chemicals within, and they've been nicknamed the dirty almonds.
So like he said, we had arsenic and PCP. And this before there was any regulations on where you could dump this stuff, so there was no proper disposal of it. Arsenic and PCP were actually, they're used for wood preservatives and also used in insecticides, pretty sure. So basically, I think they said like this whole property, they just take it and dump it wherever they had room. So all the groundwater under it is contaminated. You can't drink it. You can't build houses on it.
Yeah.
The only thing they can build on is something.
Another factory, really. That's the only thing.
Commercial use.
Yeah.
And like they said, the asphalt cap is on there, but groundwater constantly flows, all water constantly flows downward slope all over this huge stuff. It's like a river goes, it's still constantly moving. So the asphalt cap is just kind of covering it up a little bit. It's not
Literally kind of like sweeping the dirt underneath the rug, figuratively and literally. So that's pretty much all they did, and that's why Diego brought up the dirty almonds, because they actually have found traces of chemicals and toxins in some trees and almonds as well.
And these are only known tested things. We have no idea what else they haven't been tested. As it is, a lot of times there's no areas around here that you can test for water or anything, because it's already contaminated. And although over the years they've been trying to do some pumping actually to get water out from the ground and try to purify it, but it's at a very small degree.
It's not only the water, the soil's contaminated too, so you can't plant anything. Can't really do anything with it.
Yeah, they don't even want you digging up soil around here because you can literally get sick from it.
How clean is this site? The EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, through a couple lawsuits, has gotten the site cleaned up. So basically, the ground is contaminated. They've determined that there's certain appropriate levels of these chemicals that are allowed in the ground, and you're allowed to use the land. But we can't use the land for anything residential. We can't dig into it. How clean is it really when you put a 3-acre asphalt cap on the ground and all the soil underneath is contaminated? All the soil around has had these chemicals leach into it. You've got orchards out here. You've got a neighborhood right here. These plumes extend miles that way, all the way to 20th Street. It's 2 plumes on top of each other.
One thing that Catherine A. Poland, who was a student who worked on her master thesis on this, which helped ideally get a lot of our work done with this, was she compared this to Lois Gibbs' Love Canal. And I don't know if all you guys are familiar with that, but basically in the 1970s, that was another toxic site out there in New York. This isn't as scary as a degree, but the same concept of it's spreading underground. So even though right now, a good concept that was given to us by Dr. Mark Steemans over at the geography department, he described that right now, although bureaucratically it is clean, this is pretty much just a ticking time bomb, like a lot of environmental problems that we're dealing with right now. And it might not be a problem right now or even tomorrow, but within other generations coming up within the next 20 years, if something were to happen, such as like a fissure were to occur in Chico and for some reason that cap were to break, a lot of chemicals would just break out into our little town that we live in. And I don't know if we'll all be here still in that town, but the others that are there will be affected.
After what you learned on this tour, how do you feel and stand on addressing the issue, and how important do you feel like it is to you as a Chico resident?
I feel like it needs to be addressed, and I feel happy that you guys addressed it, because the plumes are a huge problem in this area. They can create serious problems for all residents of Chico and everyone in the surrounding counties of Chico. So I feel like it's a huge problem, definitely.
I feel like it's a pretty big deal since everything's groundwater, and I mean, everyone here is drinking groundwater, so I mean, that's a big deal.
Do you feel that toxic tours should be more of a regular occurrence, especially in small towns like this, and more importantly with the amount of environmental issues we have today, around the world, just become a regular thing, more popular in the media?
Yeah, I think tours definitely need to happen, because little towns that are affected by these chemicals can be wiped off the map, and that it creates higher populations in major cities, which can create even more problems with toxins and poisons in the water and the soil and such.
I think it should, because everyone's drinking the same water, which means it's going to affect everyone in the town. So it being such a small town means everyone is going to get affected.
I mean, you don't really know that this is going on. Right. So I mean, it's kind of like buried, literally.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like this was pretty surprising information, considering it's such a big grounds, in the city of Chico, which is a relatively small area? Do you feel like the stuff you learned today was pretty surprising?
It is pretty surprising, because I had no idea that this place was even here. So, and having underground water toxins, that's pretty bad.
We would have done soils samples, but we got kicked off the premises. So.
Yeah, and that's what's another sketchy thing too, is that they know that it's bad, so they can kind of keep you off of it.
Right. Yeah. It's super lame.
Yeah.
Cool.